Hello, hello. Spreading love the Brooklyn way.
I, I love it. I love coming to Brooklyn. It's one of my favorite places to be.
I knew you were busy and it was just like the worst day that I picked it, but I really was upset that I didn't get to meet you when you were in New York.
Next time I'm in Brooklyn, I'll holler. We can do one of those because I'd love to meet all you guys out there. But no, that weather that week was so bad. It was like night and day difference in the 5 days that I was out there.
It was terrible.
The thing to do is talk about the weather.
Yes, on a day like today, I mean, we got like a hurricane coming through. Nobody wants to talk about the weather. We all want to talk about you, Evan.
The pun,
You
man.
are the man. I found you obviously through Instagram, but YouTube, but you are all over the place, my friend. You are on making the rounds on every piece of social media. I also found that you're an author, martial artist, a comedian, an actor. You do a little bit of everything. So God bless you. Thank you for taking some time out of your day. I know that you are super busy. Appreciate it. The purpose of the videos that I've been creating, I'm kind of new to this, so I really appreciate you taking some time. I'm just building content, bringing people together. Your stuff is great. I love it. You have a lot of really cool stuff for sale as well. So
Always.
I started to get some questions together, the people wanted to ask you, but, let's get a little bit into you. Where are you from? Tell the people about Evan or Pawnman. Or are they the same person? Or are they two people?
No, they're definitely two different people. So I'm from Minnesota. I've lived here my whole life. I'm gonna probably die here because I just opened up a business here. I attended school at the University of Minnesota. I majored in Japanese studies. Interestingly, I had this whole crazy thing that I was going to do with Japanese, and I was trying to become a screenwriter and work in Hollywood, and I was trying to make all this grandiose stuff happen in my early 20s, and basically it didn't work. A lot of it had to do with film production, and that's kind of how I learned to make film content and stuff. That's why my YouTube channel content seems like it seems like a well-produced TV show, and it's because I've worked on that kind of thing for years and years. I just kind of failed at it. So I bounced around at all kinds of different things in my 20s, odd job stuff, trying to make ends meet. I was extremely poor, and I went from writing screenplays to pivoting to books because the whole screenplay thing was seeming impossible. And I wrote a book about being an Uber driver. I did that for 4 years. Actually, I wrote two. And then I wrote a novel, but the thing was my books weren't really selling, and I was getting to the end of my 20s, and it's shit, I have nothing to show for this. And my friends are moving up in the world and having kids and buying houses and getting married, and I'm broke and I work in a restaurant as a waiter and I hate it. Yeah. So around this time, this was 2.5 years ago, I got a tip that this old guy who had a gold and silver business was looking for an apprentice. And I begged him for a job. He hired me part-time. I set up an eBay store for him. And kind of gradually I discovered that, I got in my head that social media was going to be the future of his business and the future of his success. And I could just do a lot with it. Particularly, I started to notice that there are not that many people in the field of gold and silver that make good content. It's all very dry people that they state the facts, but there's no song and dance in the middle. It's really the only authorities in this sphere are the Pawnman guy, or the the Pawn Stars guys. Soon the Pawnman guy. So I went out in November of 2019 to New York. It was for Halloween, but I was there for that first weekend. And I messaged Stack in NYC, Tommy Haynes. I said, "Hey, I'm setting up this Instagram page for this business that I'm working for. And I see you move a lot of product and people really like you. I'm wondering if I can buy you a drink. Just pick your brain." And he said, "I'll do you one better. Come to my apartment. Watch me work for an afternoon." So he had me into his apartment. Freaking nicest guy. I can't overstate how nice of a guy this guy is and just how much I respect him and how kind he was to have me into his home, show me his operation. And I learned, I went back to Minnesota. I was I'm going to do what this guy's doing. This is the ticket for sure. So I started to set up the Instagram stuff, but the YouTube thing came that following summer. I was just going to create fun content and it ran away from me. It got so popular. And then I went on TikTok about a year ago, and I started taking sales, and I have taken an insane amount of sales just through TikTok. I'm using it in this novel way that nobody else is really doing, or people finally are starting to copy me, it seems like. But I've done over $1 million in business on TikTok.
Wow. Wow, just through TikTok?
The shop that I worked for, not for my shop, but yeah, I'm doing like 80, 90% of my business, all of it on TikTok. It's crazy.
Holy Jesus, that's insane. I didn't even think of TikTok as that type of market. I just, a lot of people, I think,
Right.
associate that with
Nobody.
fun.
And part of, I made this, I do talk about this in other interviews and I got to stop talking about it all the time. The old people that I work for, there was a big falling out. And a lot of it had to do with Pawnman. They wanted me to shut it down. They did not like it. I did not ask their permission to do it because I knew it was a good idea and they weren't going to understand it because they're like old dinosaur boomers that don't understand technology. And it's like, I could plainly see this as a good idea. So I made the YouTube show. Well, the owner and his girlfriend would go to their cabin on Fridays and Saturdays, and it would just be me and another guy at the shop. I made this like secret thing. It was like this secret project. But then it got so successful because like people were like walking into the store like looking for me. It's like, well, shit, I got to tell them about it. So I translated that to sales to make them happy, and that ultimately made them not happy. But it was like, well, the proof's in the pudding here. The amount of money that I'm generating. Holy shit, I can take this on my own. So I did.
Now, I know one of the questions people had asked was about how did you get into the business, which you just kind of covered, but what are some of the most famous pieces that you've bought? Because I'm assuming you've probably seen thousands upon thousands of things walk through that door.
Yeah. And I keep a diary too, just because I get so much intriguing stuff. And another reason why with this whole social media thing that I'm doing, I realized I had gold, pun intended, because I see the coolest shit all day long. People come in with all kinds of stuff, and it's like hell, screw working in an office. This is amazing. And it's like every time you have something cool walking in, you could put it on social media and do something with it. Just simply having it in the store is in and of itself something tangible that you can generate sales and do business with. So that was another reason why I just wanted to be photographing and videotaping everything that comes in here because it's amazing. So to answer your question, love it when Nazi stuff comes in. Happens not a lot, but it happens. And the intrigue behind that, because World War II is my favorite time period in history. And lately my TikTok videos have been doing really well because I've made a big song and dance about being a Jew who sells Nazi stuff. And like, yeah, it's going really well when I do that. So when that kind of stuff, when World War II military, like creepy Nazi stuff comes in, that's pretty interesting. Shipwreck stuff is cool and expensive. And I do see coins or items that come off shipwrecks from time to time, and I get to look them over. And it's cool just to hold a piece of history like that and look at it and appreciate it. I had a Dutch plat money, an $8 big copper piece about yay big, was taken off of the nickel bar wreckage, and the whole story behind that's pretty interesting. So that's probably my favorite shipwreck item that I've had. I also had a coin bought and sold from the USS Central America, which sank off the coast of South America in, I want to say 1856 or 7. And it was full of money. Like, and this ship just sank, and they rediscovered it in the last couple decades. And PCGS recovered the coins and slabbed them, and they're all like in really good shape. The coins. The one I had was AU-58. I want to say it was a $20 gold piece. I want to say I got like $4,000 for it.
Nice business. Yeah, I think that's got to be one of the coolest things too, and that's kind of what sparked my interest for this topic of, working in a pawn shop. I had one literally down the block from where I lived, and they kind of got a bad reputation of taking advantage of people, and I think people don't understand the process, like what they are there for, how they operate as a business as well, which I know you cover a lot in your videos. You're there to buy low, sell high.
Right. I get called a pirate all the time too. And it's like, what do you want me to do? This whole thing's about negotiation. And I'm running a business. I'm running a business where people are walking through this door, potentially eyeing me for a robbery or trying to pass me fake merchandise. It's a shark's tank in here, and it goes both ways. So I'm going to be the shark. I got to be. Otherwise, I'm going to go out of business. And like, I get people, but you ripped him off. You could have paid him this. It's like, I threw out a number and they said yes. What do you want me to do? Hand them the register? It astounds me how pissed people get, like especially on my YouTube show when like, I'll do a deal and like the person will leave and then I'll tell the camera like, I'm going to make $3,000 on this, just like that. And yeah, it's like, well, I'm not going to cost myself more money. Do you know how business works? You don't stay in business.
Like security all of that, all that, stuff you have to cover for. People don't account.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone had asked me too, in regards to sales. Do you do more sales, jewelry, numismatics, and bullion, memorabilia, cards, coins?
Oh shit! I'm becoming the Silver King of Minnesota. I most of what I'm not most, but like I should know this because I just did my week or my monthly numbers. I sell more anything, stuff like this. Like I got right now these Polish kilos. Say if anybody wants to buy one, DM me.
Check them out.
Yeah. No, I sell a lot of coins. My eBay business, it took a while to set up, but it's finally flourishing. There's 20, 30 items a day going out. And like, I take advantage of eBay because I'm getting to the point with my popularity where it's a gift and a curse in that I can sell anything. I get it. I make a video. I sell it. The video gets 50,000 hits. I can find a buyer on that. But if I can't do that for everything because for an item that I put out there, I might get 100 inquiries on it. And it's like, well, if I sell it right away, then even if I put in the comment section, it's sold, nobody reads anymore. So nobody reads it. And I just get bombarded. It's getting hard to keep track of. I had to hire more help just this past couple weeks because it's like, I'm living here. It's crazy. I can barely keep up with it. I'm here till 8 o'clock some days.
My God. What do you do? A normal 8-hour day, 12-hour day?
Come in at 10. 10:15 the way I go. And lately I've been leaving at like 7, 8 p.m. I got a girl who runs my eBay. We met at a restaurant. She actually worked at the old shop with me for a little bit. And so she comes 10 to 5. And then like I don't make her stay late, but no, I'm staying late. I got to.
Got to lead by example. Absolutely. A couple of people in the comments now actually just said too that, they met you through Tommy and vice versa. And wanted to know, do you consider yourself a collector?
Yes, I am not collecting right now. And the reason I'm not collecting right now is I have just opened this business. I'm already on track to turn a profit before the end of the year, which is amazing. Most small businesses can't say that, and I can. But like I got to put everything into this business, making sure this ship can sail and can weather any storm. Right now, I'm not operating on enough capital. I was not expecting to have to open this business in the first place. It just kind of happened because I had this falling out that just went south so fast. So I'm not operating on enough money. I'm getting better and clawing up and building my way up. But until I hit that point where I got 100K in the bank to run this business and I have everything paid off, then it doesn't behoove me to be a collector because I'm basically just robbing myself out of a profit. Now, if I get something where it's very expensive and I paid not very much money for it and I feel it's going to continue to go up, then I'll sit on it for like a year, tuck it away in my safe, and that'll be that. I guess I'll collect it that way. But until all my bills are paid off and I got more money, I can't afford to be a collector right now. I'd like to, but I can't. I got to sell everything that comes in here.
When you're running a business, you can't be a collector, I'm guessing. You hold something for a while.
Well, you can, but your business has to be very healthy financially. And it's not the case. It's not the case right now, but it's not the case right now.
Someone had asked too about sports memorabilia. Do you buy cards, autographs, footballs, baseballs, hockey stuff?
Look, I'll buy, and I get this question all the time. I'll buy anything if the price is right. And if you can prove to me that it's legit and real and it doesn't come with some COA that you could have made at home. I just had an NCAA champions ring. It was a golf ring. It was engraved to the president of Crown College. And I guess somebody like secretary came up and was like, oh, by the way, sir, here's this ring for the golf tournament. So obviously he sold it to another guy, the president of the college. And the other guy, it's one of my main dealers that I work with. He always brings me cool shit when he's dropping off silver. He's like, check this out. So he sold me that. I think I made like $70 on it. I bought it for $100. I got $170 on it.
Nice.
But no, the sports stuff, if the price is right, I'll buy it. I don't want to buy cards because they're very expensive. And I just don't know much about sports. I'm not a sports guy. I don't really like sports. So I don't want to train myself in that area of knowledge. It's just, I'm already, I learn new things every day. Part of the joy of this Pawnman thing is you get to see me grow. People think that I've been doing this for years and years and years. It's like, no, I've been doing this for like 2.5 years. I just figured it out as I went. I learn stuff all the time. So I got to be careful about staying in my lane. I've made mistakes buying sports stuff. When I first opened this place up, I bought $500 worth of sports cards, and it was a bad buy. Lost about 400 on that deal. So I'm not, if I can help it, I'm not going to buy sports cards. But, you know, hey, if you got something graded and you want to get rid of it and you just want fast cash, then I'll do it. But, you know, don't think I'm going to pay 90 cents on the dollar on your sports stuff.
I think too, especially with sports memorabilia, no matter what it is or what team or what sport, having something graded just makes it a little easier of a transaction. One of the questions that I'll actually bring up in a minute, is about etiquette. In a pawn shop, how do people go to sell an item? So if I walked in your door, I said, Evan, you know what, I want to sell this chain. Is it just that easy? Can I walk in the door with this chain and just say,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
I want to sell it?
As long as you got ID, yeah. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to weigh it, and then I'll make you an offer, and you can either say yes, or you can counter, or you can say no. And that's that. And if we make a deal, then I got to take your ID, and I'll pay you cash. I feel like you know this, but I feel like this is going to come up. I don't have a pawn license. I call myself the Pawnman because one of my followers started calling me that, and I was like, "Oh, that is so catchy. I am running with that." But no, I don't have a pawn license. It's an entirely different animal. I probably never will. In fact, the city that I'm in, St. Louis Park, Minnesota, I don't think they allow pawn shops, period. I think it's part of their city charter. So I don't even think I could have a pawn shop here. I just have a buy-sell operation, meaning you come in, you sell it to me, I take ownership of it. It's mine. I can sell it. I can stick it up my ass. I can do whatever I want with it. Just as long as you have ID, then that's all there is to it.
It's just transaction person to person. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
New York City, New York State, totally different. There's laws on top of laws on top of laws. It's
Bad.
so restrictive.
It's part of the reason why I'm not operating in Minneapolis is Minneapolis has some funky laws with buy-sell. Even the buy-sell aspect, I think you still have to register everything with police if you buy it. And it's like, oh, fuck that. What a headache.
Yeah. Some people say too that, they have, I think it's a 30 to 60 day window before they can resell it. So now they're just sitting on more inventory, sitting on more cash until it can be released.
Yeah. But no, not in a suburb like this. Not me. I don't have to do that. And that really is what, it's a great aspect of my business because I can turn something fast and make, 1,000, 2,000 real quick on stuff.
Another question kind of came up the same way. What items do you buy or what items you don't want any part of?
I'll buy basically anything except I don't want stamps. They're a dead market. I don't know anything about them. I don't want to deal with them. I fuck stamps through and through and through. I do not want stamps. Glass, china, like antique glass china. I don't want that stuff because it's heavy and I got to ship it and it'll break. Firearms, I buy antique firearms. I've actually never seen one, or not one has never been presented to me for sale.
Wow.
But I don't have a firearm license, so I cannot buy modern guns, and I don't have any interest in it. It's just way too messy.
What is the year for antiques considered? 1901 and before?
I think it's 1899.
1899. Okay.
Yeah, it's either 1898 or 1899. Well, if it came in here, I definitely have to look it up and be sure, but I'm pretty sure it's 1898 or 9.
Awesome. Good stuff. I'm in security. I always like to know this stuff too. Have you or anyone had to remove anyone out of your store for acting the fool?
No, I had a couple incidents at the old shop that I was at. I haven't had anything bad happen here at all. But I'll tell you a quick story. It's kind of a bad story. Last year, it was the week during the riots. When Minneapolis was burning down last year, the George Floyd riots.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the week after. But the tensions were very high in the city. Racial tensions were very high in the city. So we had a Black Lives Matter sign. I insisted on putting it up at the old shop that I was at. And this young black guy comes in, and I'm talking to him. He's got these 2 diamond earrings he's trying to sell. And right as he goes, I got these diamond earrings I want to sell. I'm thinking, oh, fuck, I know exactly where this is going to end before the interactions even began, because sure enough, he tells me he paid $1,500 for them, and it's 10 karat white gold with these broken apart stones, obviously like a jeweler's scam. So I'm trying to explain to him the diamond markets and how all jewelry is a ripoff and how it's like a car, you're going to lose 90% of your money. I'm trying to soften the blow as much as possible before I tell him that I can only offer him 120. on his earrings. And like, that was being generous. They melted at 160.
No.
And this guy flipped the fuck out. Like, I back then I was carrying a gun, and I'm like, you know, my hands like kind of like this as I'm like kind of turning my hip away. Like, is this going to escalate like I think it is? I thought this guy was going to hit me. So I'm like, sir, you need to leave. And he's like, ripping off the black community. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to burn this place down tonight. I'm going to loot this place tonight. Me and my homies are going to hit this place up tonight. Just you watch. And like, I looked at the old man. I was like, that was a credible threat. I need to document this. So I walked out with my camera or my phone, and this guy's getting in his car, and I just took a picture of his license plate. And he comes flying out of the car and said, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, I have a gun, and this is a escalating situation. I'm going to go back inside. So I go back inside, and like, you couldn't just walk into my store. You had to get buzzed in. And this guy's in the entryway screaming bloody murder because he thinks it's illegal for me to take a photo of his license plate, which obviously it's not. And you know, I'm like talking to him, you know, through the thick glass. I'm like, sir, you need to leave. You are trespassing. I'm going to call the police if you don't leave. He goes, you know what? I'm going to call the police. And I'm like, okay, do it. He goes, yeah. Hello, 911. Yeah, I just threatened to burn down this guy's business, and then he took a picture of my license plate. And like the look on his, just this look of horror on his face. And then he like quickly hangs up and runs out to his car, and he takes off. And like 2 minutes later, the cops show up, and they're like looking for him because he admitted to threatening to burn down our business. And again, like in his head of heads, he thought that the real crime here was the fact that I took a picture of the license plate. Crazy. So, and it was just like, you know, I'm like talking to the cops, and I'm like, this guy created this whole situation himself. Like, the thing to do if you don't like my price is leave, or say no thank you, or say fuck you. Yeah. But don't escalate the situation and threaten violence. It's like, oh my God, this is so much stupidity in like this 10 minutes of the story. So that's the only really hairy thing that's happened where I thought maybe something was going to get physical, and like obviously it didn't. But I've had nothing has happened here. I'm also just in a really safe suburb. Like I'm 3 doors down from a police station. There's no way I'm gonna get robbed.
I would assume, you know, some people, and I learned a lot about this year, you know, about jewelry is probably not the best investment. White gold compared to, you know, other gold. Yeah. So I think just people aren't as educated. They're sold a story and a price by a jeweler, and they think, you know, they're going to get 3 or 4 or 5 times more than what they pay for it down the road. Rob asks a really good question. Do you still?
I know Robert. I've done business with him.
He's good people. He's definitely good people.
Yeah, I still do mystery boxes. I'm always going to do those. That'll be a constant thing.
Guys, you got to definitely get a mystery box. Really cool stuff. I was watching those today. I don't want to give away what you put in there, but totally worth it.
I've sold probably in the neighborhood of 400 to 500 of them since I started doing it a year ago. And one guy didn't like it, and he mailed it back to me, and I sent him a new one, and he liked it. Otherwise, every single other person has liked them. I do realize it sounds like a scam, but I try and make it as good of a value as possible. Yeah, very, very, very creative, popular thing that I did that's generated a lot of revenue for me.
It's a nice mix of things too. It's a nice way to diversify. You know, if you're into all that stuff, get a little bit of everything.
And I started doing bullion ones too. So I have silver ones that start at 125, and it's a mix of silver, world silver, and bullion pieces, whatever I got.
Oh, nice. I'll take a look into that. We have a question. Sean Berry, my good friend Pegleg on Instagram. What is your favorite platform to use?
TikTok.
TikTok.
TikTok. I have my TikTok live going right here, but the camera's only on me, so it's like the side of my head talking to you. I hope on TikTok they can hear what's going on. Anyway, I've had more success on TikTok than anything. Like, I would not be here doing this with my own business were it not for TikTok. It changed my life. It saved my life. I remember the day that I first downloaded TikTok, and like I went on there to do, you know, I was doing comedy at first. I still am. But as I downloaded it, I thought, I wonder if this has the power to change my life as I was downloading it. Sure enough, it did.
I love your TikToks because I like the way, you know, it's the first 3 to 5 seconds. Hey, this is Pawnman, is what we're talking about today. Your content, and then the educational piece with it. It's beautiful. If you guys haven't seen it, watch them.
What is funny though is I'm getting more and more now that I'm getting way more popular on TikTok because I just crossed 100,000. I'm getting more people discovering that I have another page where I tell jokes, and like, on Pawnman, I make respectable content where it's mostly educational. On the other account, I tell some really, really dark jokes, and there are people that are just so bewildered, like, oh my God, Pawnman said what? What'd the guy do to his family in front of a talent agent? So I tell a lot of aristocrats jokes, for one.
They are hilarious, and it's funny because one of my first jobs, I worked in a movie theater, and your whole skit on going to the movies, hilarious. Like, you're right, you go to the movies, put all the other stuff away, take that shit, stick it in your pocket, shut the fuck up, and go watch your movie.
Yeah.
Question about pawn etiquette. Someone actually asked this on LinkedIn to me about pawn shop etiquette, and I gotta watch my language because that Brooklyn accent. I try to say pawn, not porn. Pawn etiquette.
That's right. You're like, hey, I wanted to ask you about your porn business. I was like, I don't have a porn business.
Evan, we need to know about your porn business and pawn etiquette. So some things that I think are important for you, obviously, and then people coming in. What are some things, basic things people should know? Makes the transaction easier.
You're not going to get what you think you're going to get, is the bottom line. Don't overinflate what your shit is worth. And when I tell you that it's not worth anything, or it's not worth nearly as much as you think, don't get defensive. The amount of people that come in here with crappy coins like Buffalo nickels or presidential dollars or Susan B. Anthony's, and they think they found a lost treasure of history. And it's like, your stuff's worth like $8.
Yeah.
And then they get like lippy with me. And it's like, well, if you know everything, then why are you in here? Why are you asking me? Or like, people call me and ask questions, and I'll tell them the answer, and they don't like the answer. And it's like, if you're the authority, then why are you calling me?
Do you get more walk-ins or online business?
Right now, online, just because I have this massive social media presence that, I bet 3% of my digital audience is actively consuming from me, buying from me. And it's 6 figures worth of people now. So I have a customer base of thousands and thousands of people that are messaging me every day trying to buy stuff. And on top of that, I'm acquiring new customers all the time. The walk-in traffic itself here is, it wasn't great when I started. It's finally starting to pick up because my Google, like every time I sell something online, I have somebody write a Google review for me, but that looks like it's a local deal. So word of mouth on Google is finally starting to spread, and it's having a great impact in this business here. But no, right now, like, it's 80 to 90% digital sales, 10% walk-in traffic. And another thing that I've been doing that's been very successful, I wasn't getting enough people selling me stuff. And like that, it's the bread and butter of my business. So now I do remote buys. You mail me what you got. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to send you an offer. You're welcome to counter. If you say no, then I'll mail it back. I will pay to mail it back. If we do a deal, I'll cover your shipping cost outright. I've done over 100 of these remote deals, and I have yet to not close on a single one of them.
Nice. I actually saw a few of those today, and that seems like a good way to do business for both parties. I have stuff here. I know I want to get rid of it. Let me give it to you.
Yeah, especially during the pandemic. It's a great, safe way for you to sell stuff to me because you don't have to go into some like nasty shop. You can just do it remotely.
We get a lot of talk about local coin shops, and a lot of the guys much older, they're not into the social media aspect of things, and here's my price, you don't like it, take a hike. So I think what you're doing is really smart. It's a good idea. Someone wanted to know this: what is something you would love to see come into your shop? What is something that you would like to purchase that you haven't got yet?
Either something off the Titanic.
Nice.
Or I'd love it if a collection of 9/11 recovery coins came in, like a full PCGS box of them. I would drool because those are. 9/11 is a big deal to me. In fact, I talked about this on my live on Friday and lost control of my emotions a little bit. I was 12 when it happened, and I remember the world being one way, and then it just completely changed. And 9/11 recovery coins to me bring about a lot of emotion when I look at them, and I just wish I had a big collection of them because when I get them, they're really cool, and I can make great video content on them, and I like having them in my store. But I sell them quick. The demand on them is hot. So I would love a whole set of 9/11 recovery coins to walk in here. And at one point in time, my dad actually had the largest collection of them in the world. But then he went broke and he had to sell everything.
Wow. It's funny. I didn't know about those until after 9/11, and I've been scooping them up every chance I get. I actually worked down there during the recovery effort.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Wow.
21 at the time. I was in the military. I
Wow.
flew both planes hit. I actually just did a video for it. I'm going to release it in a couple of days. I'm actually raising funds now for NYPD, FDNY Foundation, 9/11 Memorial. But it's crazy. You have a whole generation coming up now who wasn't even born when it happened.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Who don't remember the joys of being able to bring a box cutter on an airplane.
I used to cut. My high school was 2 doors next there. I used to cut school and hang out in the World Trade Center all the time.
Oh.
They
Ooh.
had,
Interesting.
yeah.
I never went. I didn't go to New York for the first time until I was 25 or so.
Oof.
Actually, I haven't even been on the new one either because it's $40 to go to the top, and fuck that, I'll get a free view of New York when I'm on the plane.
I have 2 clients right next door: the Millennial Hotel, Brookfield Properties. There's so many other places you can go instead of paying that $40 fee. It's kind of like a tourist trap, if you will.
Yeah. That's kind of what it seemed like.
Um, you know, if people wanted to find you, we know you're on TikTok, you're YouTube, but purchases, sales. I know you're a little bit into everything. Where can people find you?
The easiest way where you can see the full catalog of all my cool stuff is to go to my eBay. And I was talking about this, but then my mind wandered and I didn't ultimately complete what I was going to say. So I get an item that's cool, but I can't do a video on it because I'm going to get a million inquiries on it. It's just a pain in the ass, and it's not, unless it's an expensive item. I just don't want to do that. So what I do for a lot of the cool stuff, you don't even see it on my Instagram or anything. I just put it up on my eBay. So go to my eBay if you want to get that stuff. I have like, at any given time, 700 to 1,000 items for sale or more. I'm steadily building it up. Yeah, it's the easiest way to do that. I do not sell bullion on eBay simply because of the eBay fees. I would have to charge 30% over spot, and it just wouldn't make sense. But I do sell coins. Most of my high-grade coins are on eBay.
Gotcha. I watched a couple of. It's funny, like I said, this whole morning, Sunday morning is my day. I work 2 full-time jobs. Sunday's my day to kind of goof around, watch videos. I watched a ton of them today. I also saw that you have or had some weapons for sale. You do knives, swords, things like that.
I don't really have any weapons for sale. I'll show you this. I just got TikTok's gonna kick me off now. I just got a new sword for my birthday. I'm a black belt in Kumdo, which is Korean sword fighting. This is a samurai sword to most people, but the Koreans and the Japanese basically have the same sword. There's a little bit of tomato and egg. There's a little bit of chicken and egg as to who invented this blade. This blade's not for sale. I had this custom made, and I'm gonna start practicing with it and get better at my sword play. I also have a stiletto knife I've incorporated in my YouTube stuff a lot. I can't show it on TikTok because TikTok shits a brick if you show weapons.
Violations. We don't want no violations over here.
TikTok shits a brick about everything. That's the one thing I hate about TikTok is the goddamn censors are so vague and it does not make any sense. Like there's pages that are devoted to weapons and like dudes like shooting guns and stuff. And I show my stiletto knife for half a second and I get a ban on TikTok. It's ridiculous. Or like I'll make an educational video talking about the Nazis. That's again educational, and I get a strike for that.
Oh, didn't get shut down?
No, I haven't gotten shut down yet. I got the most recent severe thing that happened was I got kicked off for 3 days. It was like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and it actually it cost me a lot of money not being able to operate on TikTok. Probably thousands of dollars because I got no inquiries while I was not making content. So.
Oof.
Big bummer. And I have a sneaking suspicion that my TikTok account is going to get banned pretty soon, but I'm going to just make a new one. And I'll just have to do that.
We'll look out for that.
I'm like a cockroach. You can squash me, but it'll come right back out.
So, I always kind of like to wrap these up, with a couple of fun rapid fire Q&A type of questions. It's either this or that. I'm just going to shoot through them. You just tell me the first one that comes to your mind.
Okay.
All right. If you had to choose between silver bars or silver rounds, what would you go for?
Silver bars, but it doesn't matter.
Silver.
Exactly.
X-Men or Fantastic Four?
X-Men.
All right, okay. Garbage Pail Kids or Cabbage Patch Kids?
Neither. Garbage pail kids, I guess.
Yeah, that was an odd one someone had asked me. Pocket watch or wristwatch?
Wristwatch.
Gold Eagles or gold Buffaloes?
Gold Eagle.
Summer or winter? I mean,
Summer.
yeah.
Come on, I'm in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's best comedian. George Carlin or Richard Pryor?
George Carlin.
George Carlin, I would totally agree. Someone's Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon
Pokemon.
cards.
Pokemon.
Yeah, very. You made a good video about Pokemon. Largest billion-dollar franchise in the
Largest
world.
franchise in history. I didn't know that until I undertook that episode.
Insane.
Yeah, I read that statistic. I was like, really? Fuck, I didn't know that.
Better band, Alice in Chains or Pearl Jam?
Alice in Chains. I hate Pearl Jam.
Definitely.
I
guess people are kind of ask. I guess the region where you're from. I guess that's when that one came up. Listen, I appreciate you. Spending a little time with me, man. Anything you want to say to the people?
Yeah, just if you're not following my YouTube show, you guys, you've got to check it out. It is the best product that I create. I think it is just go check it out. I put a ton of time and effort into it. So do my Patreons. I'm also an author. You can get my books on Amazon. Just type in my name, Evan Kale. Follow me on social media. Let me know if you want to get one of these kilo bars. They are $899. I'm doing a special now on them because I bought way too many of them. So DM me to purchase stuff. Yeah.
I just bought your coloring book on Amazon. I thought I was going to have it in time for today.
That's awesome. I appreciate that.
I was like going through too. You have another one, Wolf in the Jungle?
Yes, and I have a sequel I am releasing very soon. In fact, my friend is test reading what I wrote right now to tell me if it's good or if it's crap. Though that I gave it for a month and a half ago and I haven't heard anything. That's not a good sign.
You got to stay in touch. You got to follow up. Folks, I appreciate the time. Evan, I thank you, my friend, for carving out some time. I know how busy you are. So I really do.
I mean, hey, I'm at my shop right now, so I'm going to get back. Like, I'm actually going to just probably spend an hour now shipping packages.
Awesome. Guys, make sure you're checking out Pawnman. Check out Evan. Buy his stuff. He's got a lot of cool stuff.
Buy merch.
He's got the merch page. He's got shirts. He's got buttons. Represent. Evan, thank you, my friend.
Yeah, I'll talk to you then. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care.